I have this little loft in my house, and for the last decade, it's been storage. It has literally been wasted space used on storage for things that I didn't really even need to be storing. So over the last year, I've been going through everything and cleaning out this little loft area, and I'm finally prepared to turn it into my dream library craft room. We're gonna have a whole wall that's a bookshelf, pegboard wall full of yarn, a massive craft table for the middle of the room, big workbench that goes across the back of the room, including a little hidey hole for our cat Tilly. While I am a maker of things, I am not a woodworker yet, but luckily my dad is. So this week we're going to be going to my dad's workshop and we're going to be starting to build my dream library craft room. I just got to my parents' house and I don't know what's going on, but Dad said that when I get home, I should meet him in the shop. So let's go to the shop. Hello! Hi! It was good. Are you trying to build a craft room?
I am. I have a little surprise for you.
You have a surprise?
Yep.
I don't know what the surprise is. You guys pause this video right here and comment what you think the surprise is going to be in the workshop. All right, let's see what it is.
You know what it is.
Oh my gosh, wait, the arm thing? Does it slide back and forth? Oh my gosh, wait, this is so cool. I know what this is.
You know what that is?
It holds my camera.
Camera holding thing.
Right?
It is.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is so cool. My gosh, wait, you made this?
Oh yeah, I made that.
The slides, this is so...
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is so cool. I don't think anybody, including me, guessed that that's what was going to be the surprise out here. This is so cool. Okay, you guys are on our new camera arm. This is awesome. This works out so perfectly. And we're getting started. Night one of working on the craft room. We're not building anything tonight, but we're planning. We have been meticulously measuring everything and planning everything. If you have not seen last week's video yet, I will link it above. Last week's video, we're just talking about the plan. I show y'all the entire plan, all of the measurements. We go through different like paint samples, talk about how we're gonna do the countertops, which we totally changed, by the way, but we will get to that in a bit. But now I am taking my rough drawing where, you know, it's not actually gridded out or anything, and I'm transferring it to grid paper that Dad had so we can really get an idea of how we're going to start first thing in the morning, because tomorrow, first thing, we're gonna head to the hardware store and we're going to be buying MDF for medium density fiberboard. Is that right?
Yes, right.
Medium density fiberboard. What is the benefit of working with MDF?
It's dimensionally stable.
Dimensionally stable.
Very smooth.
It is very smooth, so it's gonna paint really well,
It's
right?
gonna paint really well.
Because that was one of the first things you asked me. You were like, do you want fun colors or do you want like a wood grain? And I said, obviously fun colors.
And then for the drawers, we're going to use this UV treated plywood.
That's beautiful. And that's gorgeous wood grain.
And that'll keep clean. That's the benefit of that. We'll make the carcasses and the drawers out of this, and it's clean.
When you're saying carcasses, that's just like the body of the
Body.
the body.
Cabinets. It's not a real carcass.
That's good. So I'm gonna do all of the measurements here on our little graph paper, and we are gonna figure out exactly what we need to buy tomorrow. So I went ahead and bought a lot of my storage stuff, as y'all saw in last week's video, just so we could build it exactly, basically to the drawers. We have an idea of what we need to buy for tomorrow. Day one is a success of planning and planning and planning. I had no idea how much planning it was gonna be. You told me that and I was like, just nail it together. This is awesome. I'm already learning so much. I'm so excited. It's officially day 2 of building my dream library craft room, and y'all, Dad's truck is a little bit broke down right now. And we need to go to the hardware store and pick up all of the wood. But luckily, Dad has this like trailer, and you think it'll all fit?
Oh yeah, it'll all fit.
It'll all fit?
Sure.
Let's see if everything fits. Let's go hook up the trailer.
You would not know so many choices, right?
There's so many. It's unhinged.
It is unhinged.
soul is lonely, sad and blue. Ain't got no loving shoulders to lean on. There's always a sunny side across the river. Take a ride, take a swim, and all your worries go away. Go cross the river and you'll be fine. Go counting winners, it's right down the line. You'll be alright on sunny side.
So this pink styrofoam is literally so we don't accidentally cut the table. So we're gonna cut on top of it and our saw is gonna go into the styrofoam, but it's not gonna go into Dad's table. I'm about to make a practice cut. This is a track saw. It's because it goes on a track, right? Woohoo! I've never used one of these before, and I'm excited because the track keeps it going straight. This is just like an extra piece of wood that Dad had in the shop, and it's gonna be my practice wood. We will still use it for something, or he will use it for something eventually, but this is not a part of the project, but I had to document and show y'all the first cut. That is gorgeous.
Well, how about that?
Wow. This morning I posted a short telling y'all to ask us anything about this project, and then like as we do the project, I can answer the video in shorts, in the comments, and in these videos. And one of the things that y'all wanted to know is the cost. And I can tell you after the first trip to Menards, this was $830. I do have other money in like the hardware and stuff, but so far for the wood, we are at $830, and I will keep y'all updated. We're doing a lot of random things to save money, and the main thing is not using like drawer hardware. Drawer slides, they're called. So whenever you pull out a drawer, you know, like it normally has those like metal tracks, and sometimes like falls off the track, you like put back on the track. Those are so expensive. We're saving what, $300, $400? $300? By not doing drawer slides. And we'll show you how we're doing the drawers without drawer slides in just a bit. Board is so pretty.
After I saw this stuff, I'm like, oh my.
And this was only $10 more than the kind that wasn't treated like this. So this was I think $88 a sheet. And the untreated, where it was just like the wood, was $77 a sheet, I think. So I feel like, yeah, the $11 more. Like, sure, we could have done like a stain, but this is like the UV treated, and it's just like nice. Just looking at my line 200 more times. Okay, let's cut it. So we started by cutting this board 35 inches because our tabletop is going to be 36 inches. So that last inch will come from like the top of the table. And now we need to actually cut out each of these boards that are going to be like the boards in between the cabinets. So the wall to the closet and the wall to the window are two different lengths. So we kind of are just playing around with this to figure out how we can still get as much storage, as much space as we can. So we think we're actually going to have a curved tabletop like that. Now we're making toe kicks. And I was just Googling toe kicks to figure out how big they're generally supposed to be. And also I was kind of curious, like, what's the point of a toe kick? And it's literally so you don't kick your toe. Yep. It's literally just cut into the base of the cabinets. So, you know, if you're walking back and forth in front of them, you're not just like, ow, I stubbed my toe, because I stub my toe all the time. Mom said dinner is ready. Do you see this? I drilled too many. I was just in the groove doing it, and I just did two back to back instead of skipping one. So we're gonna fix it with glue, dowel rods, the saw, and playing cards.
I thought we were gonna play games.
Pick a card, any card. Glue first. Ooh. Right there. Yeah. Now we're gonna use the playing card to go against this.
How do you do that?
We've done this before.
We have?
Yeah, I must have messed up on a different project. Is your card the 4 of diamonds? And you go across it, right?
Yep.
How do I hold the card? Do I hold the card?
Just lay it flat, just kind of go like that, and bend the saw a little bit.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you shocked that I knew that?
I'm shocked that you knew that.
And now it's like I never messed up, except we'll always know. We officially have the base, the bottom of our first cabinet. And the sides. That's crazy. I just can see it for the first time.
Isn't that
Oh my god.
You've got holes for shelves.
Oh my gosh, it's a cabinet. This is my trash can cabinet. I'm so excited to have a trash can cabinet. Well, we're doing a drawer at the top above the trash can, but this might still be too big for a trash can, so we put these like little peg holes, whatever, to put like shelves in here. Oh, you got the spreader tool for the glue. I like having weird little tools for everything. It's great. And now I'm gonna know where all my weird little tools are because I'm gonna have a craft shop.
That's right.
I would not be doing this if it was not for you doing this workshop. Can I tell all your secrets that this was a mess for
Yeah, it was forever.
31 years, 30 years?
Your entire childhood. We didn't have electricity.
And it
Or a
was,
roof.
it was like the way that I've described my storage loft being just like chaos and boxes and where things go to die. That's what this was.
Yeah.
Until the last couple of years, you made it into like a haven. Like, this is so cool.
You said you wanted to build a van.
I
So I had to
did.
get started.
Now I gotta save up some money to buy a van. Yeah, y'all, so that's the big thing that we really want to build. Josh and I want to be able to travel more and go to more Renaissance festivals especially, and we really want to do a van remodel, which I know if you're on our live streams, you've already heard me talk about this so much. So Dad's been getting the workshop ready so he can help us do all the remodeling for the van. What you guys didn't see is I was sitting here and I was like, you know, drilling, trying to like screw it into the wood, and it just wasn't budging. And I was like, what is going on? Am I not putting enough pressure on this? I had the drill going in reverse. Mom caught it. Dad and I are sitting here staring at it like, what's going on? Why won't it drill? And Mom's like, are you going backwards? Thanks, Mom. We have a cabinet. This is crazy. We're about to use the table saw. This is the kind that like you literally can't cut your finger off with, right?
Tried really hard, you might be able to.
Yeah. But allegedly, it'll stop if you hit your finger. This is cool. How do you have tools for everything?
I've been researching this for 2 years. Woo! Yay!
Day one of building is complete, and we have almost a whole cabinet. We have a whole cabinet carcass. Such a weird word for that. I can't believe we even got this much done considering we got the materials.
And we both have to learn how to do it.
Yes.
I've never done this before.
You've built, no, you haven't built cabinets.
Not this cabinet, no.
Dad's first cabinet.
I built workbenches.
Workbenches. Yeah, you built lots of like workbenches, tables, things like that. Dad builds very specific things for very specific things. I will montage here and clip in some of his wall hangings for the French cleat. Is that what it's called? The French cleat wall. He builds very specific things for all of his tools, which is very cool. But you've never built cabinets before.
Never.
So
Exciting.
thanks for learning how to do this with me. It's exciting.
Fun.
All right, we're gonna go get some rest so we can do it again tomorrow. It's officially day 3 of building our dream library craft room. And y'all, our first base of our first cabinet is done. Well, almost. We have to put like 2 more boards on it. Cabinet number 1 is leaving the station. We are officially done with making the sides of our cabinets. So when I say sides, I mean like the inside sides. So if this is our room and back here is our like workbench thing we're making, we have been making these like walls of the cabinet, and we're basically building each cabinet as its own unit, and then we'll put them all together and then put the top on top but we won't do that until we get it to my house. So yesterday we built this entire little cabinet, and today we are trying to build all 3 of these. We were able to do it out of the rest of a board that we were already using, and y'all, this is so crazy. Look at how little waste we had. This is all the waste we had from this board. That is seriously so exciting. It's kind of like playing Tetris or something whenever you're doing big cuts like this, because if you cut in the wrong place or like the wrong side or turn it the wrong way, then you could end up with like a whole 2-foot section, a 3-foot section that you just like can't use anywhere. So this, I feel like, is a huge win. Up next, it's time to cut the toe kicks. What's exciting? The weather is finally nice enough that I think we can finally open up the shop doors. This is one of my favorite things about my dad's shop, is that you can just have it open whenever you're having a nice day, of course, because yesterday was like 97 degrees and terrible humidity. We did not. We had the doors closed and the air cranking, but for like the quality of the air, even though we're using protection like our glasses and our masks with filters on it, it's so much better to just like have the doors open whenever we're using power tools. And it's also just beautiful. Look at my mom's herb garden. It's so gorgeous. Ah, feels nice. The thunderstorms really cooled everything down. We almost made our first big mistake, but it's not because of anything we did. It's because of my lack of measuring. So y'all know that I have never had a good place to store the knitting machine, and the knitting machine is big. The knitting machine is currently in my office, in the very back of my office, behind all of our boxes and boxes and boxes of things that are going to eventually end up in the craft room. And so I was like, I'm not gonna go grab my knitting machine and measure it out. I'm just gonna Google how long is the LK150 Silvery knitting machine, and Google said 35 inches. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. This drawer, we're planning for it to be 42 inches for like the cabinet, you know, like including the sides. So the inside of it was going to be maybe like 40 inches. So I thought, okay, 5 inches to spare. I started thinking about it as we're laying this out and about to measure, about to cut. And I was like, I just think the knitting machine is longer than this. So I looked on Amazon on the exact link where I bought it, and it said 42.6 inches. And I was like, oh no, that's way bigger than I thought. So I called Josh and I asked him if he would make the trek through my office, through all the boxes, and actually measure the knitting machine. And it is indeed 42.6 inches. So this middle cabinet is going to be a decent amount bigger than we thought it was going to be, but I think that's okay. You know, I think it's okay. This one's going to hold the Cricut, it's going to hold the sewing machines, the knitting machine, and we need a good place to put the knitting machine, because we were talking about it and I was like, okay, the only other place I can really put it is in the closet on a shelf. But the pins on the knitting machine are like really, really fragile and it's easy to break them. I need a place where it can just slide in, stay there, and be safe. So I think our safe place for the knitting machine is going to be in this cabinet. It's going to be honestly the biggest cabinet by far. It's the one that we're painting purple. It's kind of going to be like the focal point of this back workbench. I don't think it's going to look weird. I don't think it's going to be too big. I don't know. This may look a little bit weird, but that's okay. We'll just decorate it and it's going to look cute. It'll be cute. Yep, 44 inches. That's definitely bigger than we planned on, but what does Grinch say? That's what these tests are for. More storage. That is one big cabinet. Ooh, watch out, camera. We knocked you over a minute ago, I'm not gonna lie. You weren't recording, but we whacked the camera with the board. We're gonna use these right angle thingies again to make sure we actually have right angles. That. We have these guys. I get one. Just tighten it on the back. It's just like crazy to me that like I didn't know this existed until yesterday. Now it's a tool that I know how to use.
Tool, it's called a pocket holder. I think that's what it called. It makes pocket holes. I have one daughter. I understand that it's cheap, but thin further. Nothing beats your trip to holiday. 50 pounds per person. That's 200 pounds per family of four. My name's Don't have to show. That's me. And nothing but
our second cabinet base is complete. I mean, pretty much complete. And that officially brings us to the end of day 3 of building my dream library craft room. Now, y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's only 8 p.m. We would be working on this later tonight. Like last night, I don't think we stopped until like 10:30, but I have yet to edit Monday's video. So for you, that'll be like last week's video, but for me right now, that's next week's video. I wish I could get these long form out in real time, y'all. I wish it so badly because y'all know that I love sharing things with you the moment that they're finished. And I'm so sorry that the long form is going to be a week delayed every week. So this week, even though I'm already on the building phase of this project, this coming week's video is going to be the planning phase of this project. And then this building video will be the week after that, then probably installing the week after that. Basically, every long form is going to be about a week behind, but everything on short form, everything on my Snapchat stories, all of that is going to be in real time, and I hope y'all can follow along on the whole journey. Maybe eventually I'll get an editor and I'll be able to like do everything in real time, but right now while we're building everything and filming everything and then I'm also editing everything myself, I can't get it out in real time, y'all. It's just too much. So with all that being said, it's time for me to go in and grab some dinner and get to editing, and I'll see y'all for more builds tomorrow. Y'all, today is gonna be the day that we can finally like see the progress moving forward. You know, it's gonna be the day where it's like a jump, because by the end of the day, we're gonna have the body of the entire base built. I think next we're building the base that has the butterfly drawers, and then after that, we're gonna build the base that'll go on the far right, that'll have Tilly's little hidey hole. Y'all, by the end of the day, we're gonna be able to line up all of these cabinets and actually see what it's gonna look like on the floor. And I'm so excited that I could cry. I'm having so much more fun than I thought I was going to. I'm just gonna be so straight up with y'all. Like, I knew I was gonna have fun because I love working with my dad, but when we've done big projects in the past, I've liked woodworking a lot, but I didn't feel like I'd really fallen in love with woodworking. And this project, I feel like I've just genuinely fell in love with woodworking. And I think, you know what it is, y'all? It is me and my love for freeform. If you know me, if you're a regular here, you know that I hate using patterns and I love doing freeform crochet. When we've done woodworking in the past, we've used a little bit more patterns per se. Like whenever we built the Bluebird boxes, it was absolutely so much fun, but we were following somebody else's meticulously laid out pattern, which for the Bluebird box was absolutely perfect. But for this, we are more or less making it up as we go. We have our graph paper and we are drawing it all out. We have all of our measurements, but we keep changing things as we go along. And there is something about that that brings me so much joy, just continuously adjusting to make it work better, to make it fit better, to make it better for storage. Like even for this cabinet, it was supposed to just have double doors on the front of it. And this morning, Dad was like, what if there's a drawer across the entire top of this? And I was like, that's perfect. Because people were already asking, where am I going to put all my thread? And I'm like, well, I don't really sew yet, so I don't have a ton of thread, but I'm gonna learn to sew once I have this craft room. We have sewing machines. Josh already knows how to sew. I really, really want to learn how to sew. Therefore, I'm going to end up with a lot of thread. What if this top of this cabinet straight across is like my thread drawer? Like this is such a good idea that we didn't have until like 10 minutes ago. So I'm having so much fun with this freeform woodworking, if you will. Obviously we're still measuring everything. It is not as freeform as the freeform crochet, but it still feels very free and I'm having so much fun. And y'all, I have literally made every single cut on this entire project except for one. There was one cut with the table saw where the edge was just really, really tiny. We had to cut off the smallest amount and I was a little scared. So Dad did cut that off. But rather than that, every single cut, every hole drilled, every screw that was screwed in, I've actually done it all. And I feel like I'm learning so much and it's so much fun. And I'm just so thankful for my dad for teaching me all of this stuff, y'all. You have dumbbells? What are those?
Threads.
Threads!
Holders. I thought you were going to get into sewing.
This is so cool.
That came from the Industrial Revolution.
Oh my
Literally,
gosh.
these have thread in factories.
Wait, these are so gorgeous. Wow. This is so cool. Dad said he was gonna go get some thread spools. I was picturing like little thread spools. I didn't know these were thread spools. This is so cool.
It's a picture of thread spool.
I was just telling them about your idea for the top drawer and for it being for threads. So this is hilarious. I love that. You know how I said I'd done every single cut except for one? It's because it was something like this cut I'm about to do where I had to cut off the tiniest amount with this table saw and it scared me. But Dad just helped me set up the feather board, and this thing is going to actually hold the board against this wall of the saw, so I don't have to be holding it there with my hand. So got the feather board to hold it from this side. I've got the, what's this arm called? Push stick? That's very literal. We have the push stick to push it straight through. So now I'm feeling more confident to cut this teeny tiny sliver off. So let's do it. Dad has all kinds of tricks that are kind of like freeform crochet. So check this out. I should be measuring this board to make it fit perfectly inside of here, but instead of doing that, I'm just gonna sit it inside of here, grab my pencil and mark it. And now we know what we need to cut off. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at this. Look at this, we can finally see how it's gonna look. Okay, so this is the first cabinet we built. It's the one that's gonna go all the way over on the closet. And this is the wall that's just over 20 inches. And then we're popping out here to about 22, 23 inches. And then we're gonna have one more cabinet that is this same depth before going into the smaller cabinet. Y'all, by the end of the day, we're gonna be able to see how all of this looks. We're gonna be able to see all of it side by side by side. Also, we were trying to figure out the countertops, how it's going to go out and come back in. I think we're just gonna do like 45-degree angles. I'm so excited. It's getting real. Like this makes it real, you know? Is it time to work on the drawers?
It is.
I'm so glad you told me to buy all the organization first. And that is the base of our next cabinet. We had to redo some math since we had to make the double open doors bigger than we thought. Really figured out exactly how big we needed our drawers to be with the Harbor Freight organizers. And we did make them smaller than we originally thought. And so that's a good thing, because that means we didn't have to steal any more space from Tilly's tiny little room over there, because it's already small enough. I mean, I've seen her get in teeny tiny little boxes, so she's gonna be fine, but still don't want to make it that much smaller. I did this in the right spot, right?
Yeah.
I just took off. I'm learning how to do things. Yesterday, I feel like it was always, you know what I mean? Every single thing I'm like triple checking. Now I'm like getting confident, and that's dangerous.
Guess what?
What?
If we screw up, we'll frog it.
We'll frog it. Dad's learning our terminology, and we're learning Dad's terminology.
Aren't you glad you got me that for Christmas?
I am. When I was like, what, 12? I'm so excited! Our butterfly drawers, as we've been calling it, are complete. The drawers aren't complete, but the base of the cabinet is complete. You get what I mean. It's progress, and it's really exciting. We only have one more cabinet base to build, which is going to be Tilly's little hidey hole cabinet, and we're going to do that. When are we going to do that, Dad?
After lunch.
After lunch! Let's go get food. We officially made the last base to the last cabinet. This is going to be Tilly's cabinet, as we've been calling it. This is the cabinet that has a drawer at the top, then the little cubby for Tilly, and then a little space for a basket at the bottom. This is the cabinet that we have been stealing from, for lack of a better word, as we've been doing this project, whenever we realized that we needed to make the other ones bigger. But honestly, it ended up the perfect size for Tilly. We actually just went in and measured Tilly's favorite box that she's always in when she's here, because Dad built her like a makeshift cat tree out of cardboard boxes, and she loves it so much. And it is 15 by 15. So we know that this is going to be just big enough for Tilly to absolutely love it. This is going to be closer to a little over 16 by a little over 16. Our last cabinet base is complete. I'm so excited, but we need to leave these guys on here just for a little bit of time while the glue kind of dries. Dad, what do you think? Is it time for a dock break?
Dock break.
We go hang out at the dock and see if we can see some hummingbirds. Hummingbirds, let's go. Look what is still standing up so strong after all these years. Our concrete mushrooms, they look beautiful. The fishies are waiting for us. I'm here first, so I get to claim the good seat. We have the last cabinet completely done. The glue is dried. We took off the little right angle thingies. It's time to set it all together and see how it looks. I'm so excited right now. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. Now remember, this one is smaller because this is the one that goes on the wall that's only 17 inches from the wall to the window. This is gonna have a drawer, then Tilly's little hidey hole, then a little area for like a basket or something at the base. I have this camera bag that I usually put my camera in, and then my tripod folds up to be pretty small, so I'm thinking the little basket area underneath can like hold this stuff. Because right now I don't really have a good place for it, like at all. Like most things in my house, I don't really have a good place for most things. Oh my gosh. Wait. It's not any workspace. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. Yeah, I don't think that feels too weird having this little cubby over here. We'll have like a 45-degree angle on the countertop. The toe kicks are perfect. This is so exciting. Guys, I'm learning how to be a woodworker. This is so fun. Here they are. Here's the base of all of the cabinets. Y'all, I'm so excited. I think the last thing that we're going to do tonight is actually make the backs for them. The backs slide in and they go in that little groove right there. And then we're really gonna be able to see how they're gonna look once they have the backs on them. I'm so excited. So this is the 1/4 inch that we are using to make the back. It's like really thin, but it's still finished the same as the rest of them. And I think we're going back to using the track saw to cut this. And I'm glad, because I actually really like using the track saw. It's almost like playing Tetris. It's like, how can you cut the right sheets out of a board to use the most of the board? Even if you have the right amount of square feet or the right amount of square inches, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to cut out the shapes that you need and the sizes that you need. So we're gonna measure out the backs of these cabinets. We're gonna figure out how much we need and we're gonna start cutting. Time for all of our PPE before we actually start to saw. I don't think we've really talked about this yet in this video. We have ear protection in every time we saw or drill, eye protection, and a filtrated mask. Now we're just using this whenever we are sawing things, drilling things. Once we get to the wood with more chemicals and then the epoxy top, we will be using a more filtrated mask. I have to put them over my Princess Leia space buns. Because this will keep out the wood chips, but it won't keep out like fumes. And the MDF that we're going to be using has like different chemicals in it. So we need to be using like a mask with better filtration for fumes whenever we saw that kind of wood. And then we'll need to use that same filtration whenever we do the epoxy top. While I have been making all of the cuts, I haven't really done one like unsupervised yet. Mom just got home with groceries and Dad's gonna help Mom carry in the groceries and I'm gonna cut the board. I think I'm all lined up, let's go.
I can't reach. I don't think I can reach if I do it like that.
I got really tripped up with like which side of the table I should be cutting on to be able to reach across. And now I'm like, did I cut it wrong? Let's put it in the back and find out. Okay, it's not that this cut is wrong, it's that the back isn't lined up. Uh-oh. So I don't think I cut it wrong. I think it's just that this backboard is like too far covering where we need to go. So we're actually just gonna loosen that screw. Ah, nice. Woo! Now let's cut the rest. Oh my gosh. Every one of our cabinets has a back. Wow. This is the first time either of us have built cabinets. Luckily, you built a lot of other things, you know, like entire houses, right? But not cabinets, okay. Well, even though the sun is still in the sky, we think we might be calling it a night a little bit early tonight. As I was telling y'all at the end of yesterday, I still have a lot of editing to do for next week's video, which for you guys is last week's video. And this is a pretty good place to call it, right?
It is.
Tomorrow, what are we gonna work on?
Face frame.
Face frames! Woohoo! It's officially day 5 of building our dream library craft room. And yesterday was so exciting because we got to see so much progress. It was the first time we got to see all the cabinets lined up. And then the moment that we slid the backs into place, it was like, oh my gosh, these are cabinets. These are like real cabinets. Like we could really, really see it. But the thing about making anything, as a lot of y'all makers know, it's not always like that. Like not all of the work is immediately you just moving forward and seeing this big amount of progress. So the next thing that we are going to be doing today is going to take, what do we think, 2 hours?
Probably 2 hours.
2 hours? And you're not going to see any progress, not going to see any progress at all, but it is going to make our cabinets so much sturdier. So last night we slid these back panels into place, but they're not actually secured. Right now they're just like slid into these grooves. So we need to start by securing all of these together. And then eventually we're going to screw this to the wall once it's installed at my house. And then another thing over here, we have all of these holes that we drilled for shelving. So eventually these little pegs will go in here and they'll be movable so I can move the shelves wherever I want them to go. But this isn't enough holes, we're realizing now, which is how big this cabinet is. So I think we're actually going to do holes down the middle, yeah, holes down the back for some extra support. Oh, and we have kind of a mildly big update about Tilly's little cabinet right here. So last night, it was like 11 p.m. We were about to go to bed. And we were like, we want to go look at our cabinets one more time, weren't we, Dad?
We were.
So we just came out here and just stared at our beautiful project and just started talking about the plans for today. And we started thinking about the drawer size, and we were thinking about Tilly's little cabinet. And I was like, I just don't know if a drawer is going to fit above Tilly's little hidey hole. So I had measured out how far the windowsill was up from the floor, because we really want the windowsill to go straight into Tilly's little hidey hole so she can walk from her window seat right into her little fairy door. This is how tall the window is and how tall her window seat is. So we realized we're not gonna have enough room for it to be her hidey hole and then a drawer above it, because we want to make sure she truly has enough room in there, which is going to be about everything above my arm. So we are losing one drawer here, but we're gaining a drawer over here in our big middle cabinet. The bottom is going to still be the doors that fold outwards, but right here at the top, we are going to be adding a drawer that goes all the way across. So we're not losing that much storage. We're not really gaining that much storage either. But more than anything, I really just wanted to make sure that Tilly has enough room in her little cabinet hidey hole to make sure that she can comfortably lay in there and take a nap and relax. So we have been gluing things and adding more support and doing basically everything we can to make the back of these cabinets more secure. And now, like I talked about earlier, how we kind of want to have the ability to put pegs in the back to hold the shelf, not only from the sides, but also from the back. Now we are going through with the tool that I'm obsessed with. I love this tool. It helps me drill all of these little holes perfectly. And these holes are what our pegs are going to go in to hold our shelf. So like obviously the shelves are gonna be really long. And for something like the knitting machine, the weight will be evenly distributed. But if I had something where like, ooh, it's heavier on this side than this side, I'm probably gonna want this back peg as well to like hold the shelf. So this is how I line it up. Now, I'm just drilling every other one. Wait, did I just drill in the wrong one? I drilled in the wrong one! There we go. It's only the second time I've done that. I need to make sure that this doesn't wiggle around since I'm using it as my like straight edge as I drill all these holes straight down it. So I'm actually just gonna use double stick tape once I figure out exactly where it needs to go. We're officially cutting our first shelf, and this is actually going to be a half shelf, and in theory this should be the perfect size for the knitting machine. Let's see if the shelf fits in our cabinet. Oh, we haven't even seen if it fits. Ah, it fits. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. We have a shelf. We have our first ever shelf.
Look how dirty that is.
Now we just finished our full shelf, so we have an option of a half shelf or a full shelf, or depending on how we use it, I guess we might use both at once. But this really gives us an idea of how big our drawer could end up being. I just finished cutting the face frames. These are the things that go there, like that, like frames out the cabinet. So it's gonna be like that. There will be one across the bottom. I think I'm gonna paint all of these the darkest color of green. That way the entire like underlay of the cabinet front is like a dark green. And then we'll have like the lighter greens and the purple and the lighter purple all on top of the dark green. It's gonna look so good. I know it doesn't look like we got a ton done today, but we really, really did. We took out all of our backs, lined it with glue, and slid them back in to make it more secure. And then to prevent the back from like bowing, we put a board across the bottom of each of them with pocket holes, and then we attached it to the base. And then on top of that, we also finished drilling all of the holes for our shelves on our biggest cabinet, and we started our face framing. But y'all, it has to be an early night tonight because tonight is my aunt's 70th birthday party, and she's throwing a 70s disco party. So I need to go get disco ready. This is fun. I'll show you guys my fit when I'm done. We are back to day number 6 of building the cabinets for my dream library craft room. And y'all, I've been looking at the comments on some of my videos, and so many of y'all are asking if I'm gonna have flowers in our dream craft room. And of course, I'm gonna have flowers. Y'all know how much I love flowers. And on the way into the workshop this morning, I was looking at Mom's beautiful flower and herb garden, and I thought that we should pick some flowers for the wood shop. I think the flowers will look so cute in these spools. Like, look at this. Today we're finally doing the face frame. This is our mock-up. What do you think? It's gonna look so pretty, right? So basically, around the cabinets, they're going to be framed. If you remember in last week's video, we were talking about the different kinds of cabinets, and there's like face frame versus frameless. Frameless looks a little bit more modern, and that's kind of why I didn't like it. And Dad, you said it's actually easier to do frames, right?
Framed is easier.
And I didn't think that was gonna be the case because it's technically more work. But the reason framed is easier is because it gives you like more leeway to mess up, basically.
Because when we put our drawers in and our door fronts, they lap over the face frame. And then if something's a little bit crooked, it won't show.
But if we did it frameless, so take out the frame for a second, I'll show them here. It has to be like completely perfect. Like, just picture all of that having to line up absolutely perfect, and the bottom having to line up actually perfect. That's not even the reason that I chose face frame cabinets. The reason that I chose face frame cabinets was actually so I could paint them. So everything that's the face frame is going to be painted as well as the fronts of like the drawers and the doors. So for me, I knew that I wanted to have like a base layer of paint of this like really, really dark green color, and then layer my lighter greens and my purples on top of it. So for me, it kind of also gives like a continuity to the cabinets where it's not just the drawers and the doors that are painted, but also there's like an entire layer of like base paint. We officially have all of our dowel holes drilled in our first face frame. Now we're basically gonna glue it together. So rather than just like screwing this together, it's gonna be a lot stronger if we actually use these little dowel peg thingies with the combination of this and glue. And we're basically just gonna like Lego it together. We're gonna push this in here with glue and then push this into there with glue. And it's going to be like extremely, extremely strong. And I was asking Dad why these are like textured on the side rather than just being like a normal just dowel rod, and he was explaining that that's where the glue goes. It's literally going to like fuse to all of those little ridges, and it's gonna make it like super, super, super sturdy. So now let's play the game of how little glue can I get on my fingers as I connect all of this. Dad's getting me a napkin ready.
I know the answer to that question.
You know the answer to the question. I'm going to get glue on my fingers. Woohoo! Okay, first corner, I got no glue on myself. Until I probably wipe it all off. Wow, that fits together so nicely. Beautiful. We are currently trying to figure out how big to make the drawer. We got the actual trash can that's going to be in the trash can cabinet, and we're trying to figure out how big to make the drawer above it. What do you think, Mom? Where does it need to go?
Okay, I need to practice throwing stuff away so
Okay.
I know.
Okay, you're reaching
I
in.
need something.
You open this up, you throw it in.
Yeah,
How much space
Throw it
do you
in
have? Okay.
throw it in there.
Okay.
Depends on how big a thing I have.
We also figured out that these little organizational things from Harbor Freight perfectly fit beside of our trash cans. We're gonna build a wall here in between it and get a stack of these. I think we can fit like 6 of them or 5 of them in here. It's gonna be so much more storage. That's beautiful. I feel like I can like really see it. You know what I mean? Look!
You have a drawer!
The face frame!
Pocket holes.
Pocket holes. Oh no.
I hate that.
I hate them. Pocket holes are my favorite. I love doing pocket holes. Lay it on before we officially attach it. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
Really?
Look at that beautiful cabinet.
There it is.
What even is today? Is today day 7? Today we've been putting the face frames on our cabinets, as you can see over here, and we are about to put on the last face frame, and I'm so excited seeing the face frames on them. It just like makes it look kind of complete. You know, I feel like we can start to see like what they're going to look like, and it's exciting. So I'm about to pocket hole our last little cabinet. This is going to be the cabinet that we've been calling Tilly's cabinet because it has her hidey hole in the top, and it's gonna have just the basket to store like my camera bag and stuff in the bottom. And then we can put on the last face frame before we try to figure out how to do the drawers, because we're actually not 100% sure how we're doing the drawers yet. We're about to face frame Tilly's little hidey hole cabinet, and I know that the only thing I care about having at the bottom is my tripod and my camera bag, and the outlet's going to be right here. We're going to cut a hole for the outlet so I can like charge my camera and things like that, just sitting in this little area, and I finally have a place for my camera. So we're figuring out how much of the space at the top we are able to give to Tilly, and we just did the pocket holing for the bottom of this. We're about to basically screw on Tilly's floor, and then we're going to put this on top. So then down here I'll just have like a little cubby for my camera and my tripod, and then up here will be Tilly's little hideout. So we're not gonna be able to cut the hole for Tilly's door until we have this back in my house, because we need to make sure that she can like walk into it from the windowsill. But this is lined up to where that is the windowsill, so the front of her little hidey hole can open up without hitting the windowsill. So we think we have it all measured out. What do you think, Dad?
I think it's good to go.
Think it's gonna work?
Good to go.
Think Tilly's gonna like it?
Yep.
We just finished screwing on the front panel. Look how good this face frame looks. It looks so finished, especially seeing my camera and tripod down here, since that's where I'm going to store them. And Tilly's little hidey hole. I was looking over here at the hole saws that Dad has. What if we do like this size of a circular door for Tilly to go into? And then what if we use one of these smaller ones, maybe like this size, to make her a couple windows? Like, that would be so cute. I have no idea yet how we should decorate the front of Tilly's little hidey hole. Should it look like a fairy house? Should it look like a hobbit hole? Let me know what you guys think we should do for this, because we're definitely not getting to it in this video. So let me know in the comments, and I can take a look at it before we move on to what's next. Dad's making more work for us. Tell them what you just told me.
I think that Tilly should have 3 or 4 doors, and they could change with the seasons. We could just take it off and put a new door on for each season.
Obviously, we're doing that. Okay, I'm gonna go watch The Right Turn Pretty with Mom. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye! It's officially the second to last day of this trip of working on our craft room build. I feel like we both got more done than we expected and less done than we expected. So our goal for today and tomorrow, before I have to leave tomorrow night, is to finish all of the drawers and to finish all of the fronts for our doors and our drawers. That way we're gonna have like a pretty finished look. It just won't be painted. It won't be painted. We won't have the tabletop on yet, but you will be able to use all of the drawers and all the shelves. We'll be able to see how it's all gonna look. And then next week we will be painting and doing the tabletop. In theory, this is the first bottom for our first drawer. I've been so excited about the drawers because, like, I feel like everything we've done for the last 3 or 4 days, you haven't, like, seen a big jump forward. You know, like a lot of it was like structural integrity stuff, and then like putting in like the rails for the drawers. I will say putting on the face frames definitely made a difference, but a lot of it just, since we built the bases, you didn't see this like drastic difference, but I feel like being able to slide in the drawers is going to be a drastic difference. So let's slide in the first bottom of the first drawer and see if it fits. Oh, wait, the slide. The slide is so good. It's so smooth. The way that we're doing the drawers is literally just by a slide, which is actually just how people made cabinets for like hundreds or thousands of years, or however long cabinets have been around. Before they made the sliding hardware, this is just how they worked. Like you would literally just slide your drawers in. And this is great because it's so much cheaper. And Dad, you get more room, right?
You get more?
You get more room in your drawers. So more bang for your buck both ways. Well, it's officially the last day of the first trip of coming up here to my parents' house to work on building our dream library craft room. We did not get done as much as we wanted to get done for this week and for this video, but honestly, we still got a lot done, especially since this is my dad's first time ever building cabinets. And not only is he learning how to do the whole process, but he's also teaching me everything. And then I'm doing every single cut, every single screw, every single drill, knowing kind of nothing about this. But y'all, I have literally been woodworking in my sleep this week. Like every night I'm dreaming about woodworking still. And I feel like I'm actually learning how it all works, how to use all of the tools. I'm not just going through the motions, like I'm learning the terminology. I'm like figuring out how all of this works, figuring out the best ways to do things, figuring out when we're doing things kind of unconventionally. And speaking of doing things kind of unconventionally, we are about to do the drawers, and we are doing the drawers slightly unconventionally. So normally, apparently, another thing I've learned, whenever you make drawers, you make dados. So dados are the little like groove that we cut for like the back of the cabinets. So then one other piece of wood can slide into the cut on both sides. So if you buy like a bookshelf from like IKEA or something, it'll usually come like that, like the two sides of the bookshelf. You'll put that together and then you'll slide in the back. The things that it actually slides into, that's apparently called a dado, which is another term that I learned this week. We're not making dados for our little drawers. Instead, we are going to be combining them with glue and pocket holes. Pocket holes are like my favorite thing ever to make. They're like whenever you drill in kind of sideways on the wood, and then you're able to screw in from the side. It's just like super cool, and they're super fun to drill. And then on top of that, we're also going to be gluing the sides together. But the problem is we are using UV treated boards for the inside of the drawers, which is great because they look beautiful. They're shiny, they're super smooth. We don't have to do any finishing to them. But glue does not stick to that. It's like anything in crafting where we kind of have to like sand it before we either glue it or we paint it. We've got to sand this. But we don't want to sand the entire inside of our drawers because then that would kind of defeat the entire purpose of having a UV finished drawer to start. So we're only sanding the side. So this was our little test strip. Do you see how the side is like slightly sanded? That is the setup we have going on right here. So we're using this board since it's going to be the same side as the sides of our drawers to measure how much we need to sand on the base of each drawer. We're using the level as like a straight edge, and then I'm going to go across it with the sander, and I need to do all four sides of every drawer. So let's cut to a montage. We officially had our first big whoopsie. We were putting on the sides of the drawers, and we knew that we had some like wiggle room, but I went over the side a little bit too much. We didn't quite have that much wiggle room, so then we tried to put the drawer in, it didn't fit. So we had to take it all apart and put it all back together, and now for the moment of truth, to see if it fits. Oh no, it doesn't fit! I'm just kidding. This one's almost exactly a square, and so you gotta figure out which one's the front and which one's the back. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful! Yay!
Oh my god, I didn't do anything. Watch.
Moral support. It's our first drawer. There's just not a front on it yet. I feel so relieved now that the first drawer fit. Y'all, the drawers were difficult to make. That was difficult. I was like, why am I having trouble hearing myself? It's because I still have my earplugs in. We're about to go in for lunch, but before we do, we got some packages for the project. So let's open it up and see what came in the mail today. These guys are the feet. So as I talked about in the planning video from last week, if you haven't seen last week's video yet, I will link it below. So these little feet can get shorter or taller, and they actually go on the edge of the cabinet. So you can put on the edge of the cabinet and you use these to level out the cabinet, since the cabinet is going on carpet, and carpet is like never completely level. Now, some of y'all have already told me to rip up that carpet and replace it with a hardwood, linoleum, some sort of hard floor. It would be so much better. It'd be better to put in the cabinets. It'd be better for the craft room, easier to wipe up, easier to sweep. And y'all, if I was just a crafter and not also a YouTuber crafter, I would be doing that in a heartbeat. I would absolutely be ripping up the carpet, putting it on a hard floor. But carpet is like a lot easier to film on for a lot of reasons. It's kind of like a sound absorber, makes the room sound better in general, but also I have a rolly chair. And so if I was on a hard floor in a rolly chair in all of my videos that I'm gonna film in that room, I would have to edit out the sound of the rolly chair in every single video, and it would add hours to my week. So we're leaving the carpet and we're gonna use these little guys to level it out. Let's see what is in the next box. Oh my gosh, wait, it's another camera mount. Good, that came in the mail. So we're gonna be building another arm from the ceiling for Josh, since Josh is also a YouTuber. This way he can also film from the ceiling, just like we're doing right now with the camera mount that Dad built for me. We're gonna be building a second one for Josh. So here's his camera mount. This last one I'm the most excited about. I believe it's from Etsy. Oh my gosh. Y'all, totally redone the plan like 5 times since I ordered these. So I'm not exactly sure where they're going to go, but look at this. It's my mushroom handle for the drawer, my mushroom drawer pull. And from the same shop, I also got a snail drawer pull. And I didn't realize this, but the snail is like this. So the snail's like going along the edge. That is so cute. These would actually look really good together on the same drawer. Maybe I'll have to use these on the same drawer together. All right, y'all, time for me to go eat lunch, and then we're gonna finish up these drawers. Well, in theory, we just finished our last drawer. At least the inside of the drawer. We still have to build the outside of the drawer, but that will be a video for next week. Dad, you ready to try?
Let's do
See
it.
if it fits? Oh my gosh, what if it doesn't fit? The last two didn't fit. Literally didn't. We put in the first one and there was like a tiny screw coming out of the back that didn't let it go in, but that was fine. That was fixable. The second one was like a 30-second too tall. So just a little bit of sanding and it did the job. So maybe the 5th time is the charm. This is our 5th drawer and we feel like we finally kind of figured out what we're doing after 5 drawers. That was a weird noise. Oh no! Woo! It fits! Look at this perfect drawer storage. That's incredible. It's almost like we built it to size, because we did. So Dad, will we see you next week?
Yep.
Mom, will we see you next week?
Yes.
Mom, you gonna help us paint?
Yes.
Yay! I can't believe that we have the base of our cabinets done. And y'all, I'm honestly like so proud of myself. I can't believe how much of the work that I actually did, and also how much I learned. Like, Dad and I have done a lot of woodworking projects together in the past, but usually it's kind of just like going through the motions. It's like, you know, I'll hold the board for him, or I'll help mark measurements, or maybe every now and then I would like use the saw. But this was the first time that it started to click, you know? It started to click and I started to just feel like, oh, I understand this. Oh, I know what to do next. Oh yeah, I know how to set up that saw. I know what to plug in here. I know which bit needs to go with which drill. It was just really exciting to start to feel like I was grasping the woodworking aspect of it rather than just going through the motions and just like, you know, following point A, point B, point C that Dad was saying. It truly felt like I was able to help on like the collaborative end with like strategizing and figuring out the best ways to measure things, literally just all of it. I just feel like I learned so much and grew so much this week, not just as like a woodworker, but I don't know, as a maker and as a person. I think that concludes week 2 of building my dream library craft room. And y'all, if you were here for week 1, we still don't have a name. We still don't have a name for the dream library craft room. I think I have a few favorites. I'm really liking the Whimsical Workshop. I'm really liking the Hook and Bookery. I'm really liking the Knick Knack Nook. I like Yarnia. What were the other favorites? The Hook and Book Nook. The other option that we had was basically to have little signs in different corners of the room. So people were saying I should call Tilly's little hobbit hole the Shire. The yarn section can be Yarnia. For the books by themselves, I think my favorite name was the Little Loft Library. My workbench and craft table could be the Whimsical Workshop. My shelves with knickknacks on it could be the Knickknack Nook. I kind of like that idea of having just like different signs around the room, but let me know all your thoughts and if you have an idea of what we should call my dream library craft room. In last week's video, the video of just the plan, I talked to y'all about this a little bit, about how when I first decided I wanted to do this craft room, I was like, oh, I'll just do this all in one video. You know, I planned on kind of like maybe bulking a bunch of other videos and then just filming this video over a month and cramming it all into one video. And as we got closer to time and as y'all started asking me more questions about how was I going to plan it? How was I going to build it? What's it going to be like? It just made me really even more want to bring y'all along with every single part of the process. And another amazing thing about bringing you guys along with every part of the process is it's like a collaborative project. You guys get to help me out because this room is going to be where we film so many of our Sunflower family videos for the foreseeable future. And I want y'all to be a part of this. I really want it to be a group project where you guys can truly be a part of this craft room as well. So with that being said, next week we should be back for week number 3, which will hopefully be putting the faces on the cabinets and then painting everything and then hopefully doing the resin top. Y'all, in last week's video, the plan, we talked about how I was going to do a laminate top. Turns out they don't make just like a black sparkly laminate the way that I wanted them to, but what they do have is epoxy resin, which I only learned because of y'all. Now, when I thought about doing epoxy resin tabletops, I thought you had to like pour the entire thing of like resin and make the entire tabletop out of resin, but you can actually still just use like a wood tabletop and then cover it in resin. But we will get to that in more detail next week. And for anyone wondering why the pause, why am I not just going straight through and continuing on with this project, I do have to go back home to Nashville for a few days, actually for an event with YouTube this weekend, so I cannot stay here in the workshop and continue right now. But in just a couple days, I will be back here at my dad's workshop. Wait, my dad's workshop needs a name. What should we call my dad's workshop? What should we call my dad's workshop? Let me know in the comments. So in just a few days, I will be back to continue working on our dream library craft room. And I'm so excited, y'all, because on this next trip to my parents' house, Tilly and Josh are both going to be able to come with me. I miss them so much. It's been 8 days since I have seen them, and I am so excited to get home tonight to see Tilly and to see Josh, of course. If you're new here, welcome to the Sunflower family. My name is Auna. We do new videos every single Monday. They're usually crochet or crafting or making something, and apparently for the foreseeable future, which is probably going to be like the next maybe 5 or 6 weeks, we are going to be building my dream library craft room, and I will be bringing you updates daily on shorts and every Monday on long form. See you next week.